What's going on, everybody? It's your life and wellness coach, Charles Johnson from Beyond Wellness Podcast. Tonight, it's New Year's Eve. Yeah, it's that time of the year. I've got a 4-part series that I'm going to share with you for the month of January. Part 1 is capacity before change. Why January breaks so many people. And in part 2, why discipline feels hard before it feels free. Relief versus resolution. Part 3 will be consistency beats why staying wins when motivation fades. And part 4 will be stop starting over. Identity over effort. All right, so let's get this party started for the New Year's Eve with part 1. Capacity before change. Why January breaks so many people. Let's go. 2026. 2025 is over. 2026. We about ready to get into it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We all have these goals, and we're trying to work towards becoming better. So we're going to go through all this step by step. Part 1 first, then we'll make our way through part 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go. January has a reputation, whether we want to admit it or not, but it's earned it. Every year, January arrives with an unspoken pressure that this is the month. Everything is finally going to change. This is the reset. This is the comeback. This is the moment where you become the version of yourself you've been promising yourself for the last 10 years. Yikes. You know what we do. New goals, new routine, new standards, new expectations. On the surface, that sounds hopeful. It sounds motivating. It sounds like a possibility. But underneath it, January quietly becomes one of the most emotional, punishing months of the year, because by week 2 or week 3, something very predictable happens. Yeah, life shows up. You already know. Work gets busy. Sleep gets inconsistent. Stress creeps back in. Motivation starts to fade. Your energy drops, and people start asking themselves questions that they rarely say out loud. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with me? Why can't I ever stick to anything? Why do I always start so strong and then fade out? All right, come here. A little closer. Yeah. Back up. There we go. So let me say this clearly right now. Nothing's wrong with you. Burnout doesn't come from laziness. It doesn't come from a lack of discipline. It doesn't even come from a weak mindset. Burnout comes from overcommitment without capacity. And most people have never been taught what capacity is, but you're going to learn today. Capacity is your ability to experience stress, discomfort, pressure, and demand without collapse or quitting. It's not motivation. It's not willpower. It's not about how badly you want to change. It's about how much strain your system can handle before it gives out. Most people don't fail because they don't want to change badly enough. They fail because they try to change everything at the same time on a system that's already exhausted. And January makes it worse. I get it. January tells people to start fresh, but it never asks the question, are you stable? Okay. Let me slow this down. There's a difference between change and capacity for change. You could want change desperately and still not have the capacity to carry it. You could have the best intentions in the world and still overload yourself into burnout. And this is why so many people feel like January exposes them. It doesn't expose weakness. It exposes your limits. Here's a question I ask often. What is the first thing you need to do when you realize you're in a hole? Wait for it. You need to stop digging. Put the shovel down. Yeah, I get it. That seems obvious, right? It seems almost too simple. But that's not what most people do. Most people look at the hole that they're in and think they need to climb faster. They need a better plan. They need more effort. They need more discipline. So they start to dig harder. They add more goals. They add more structure. They add more pressure. They add more expectations, all while already overwhelmed. This is what it looks like when your mouth writes a check that your butt can't cash. No. That's what I'm just saying. Listen up, everyone. We do this all the time. We say yes when we should say pause. We commit when we should just stabilize. We chase growth when we have not recovered. And then we have the nerve to call it discipline. But it's not discipline, it's overload. Capacity is not about lowering your standards. It's about aligning your expectations with reality so progress becomes sustainable. If your plan only works when life is calm, well rested, uninterrupted, that's not a real plan. And you live on Fantasy Island. Let me say that again, because this matters. If your plan only works when nothing goes wrong, it's not built for real life. And here's one of my favorite reminders that fit. Joy is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of hope. And hope doesn't come from promising yourself a perfect future. Hope comes from knowing you can survive the process. Hope grows when you realize you can handle the pace that you've chosen. Not the pace social media is selling, not the pace your guilt is demanding, not the pace January is pressuring you into. Your pace. Yeah, yours. This is why January should not be about proving anything. January should be about stabilizing your sleep, stabilizing your routine, stabilizing your expectation, stabilizing your nervous system. And I know, for some people, that doesn't sound too impressive. I get it. There's nothing flashy about rest, nothing exciting about boundaries, nothing sexy about saying, not yet. But stability isn't settling. Stability is a strategy. Stability is what keeps you from quitting in March. Stability is what keeps you from spiraling when motivation drops. Stability is what allows consistency to exist. Let me speak directly to you for a moment. Some of you are listening already feel behind this year, and you may only be a day or so in, and you're already thinking, man, I've already messed up. Listen, you didn't fail. You noticed your capacity, and that awareness is growth. Capacity often starts with subtraction, not addition. It starts with asking what needs to pause, what needs to be simplified. You need to stop pretending everything needs to be handled right now, because it doesn't. This isn't weakness. This is wisdom. Before you climb out of that hole and you put the shovel down, you don't need a dramatic reset. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to punish yourself into progress. You need a foundation that can hold the weight of change. And that foundation is capacity. So if all you do this month is slow down enough to stabilize, or all you do is stop digging, you're not falling behind. You're finally doing the work that makes everything else possible. Before you chase change, make sure you can carry it first. Capacity comes before discipline. Capacity comes before consistency. Capacity comes before becoming. Put the shovel down and we'll build it from here. Man, I just love giving out these life lessons. Get ready for part 2. I'll see you on the next video.